I'm insanely impressed with the price to performance situation we got going on here. This is an $80 wireless headset. Normally I wait till later to tell you how much it costs. This is $80 and wireless. The price to performance situation we got going on here is very impressive, and I'm excited to get into it. So let's start by talking about the package. The package, it's not super gamery and it's not super professional. It's right there in the middle. It doesn't shout at you, but it also wants you to look at it. You know what I mean? Inside that box, you get your headphones, your dongle, pretty decently length USB-C to USB-A wire. Usually companies give you this tiny little, 3-inch wire, so I appreciate that. The most important thing, the documentation. And sadly, we couldn't laugh at them. They didn't include stickers, man. What are we gonna do without our stickers? So anyway, let's get into the design and the build quality. And honestly, these are built with budget and comfort, and I think that they succeeded in both, but I feel like they cut in some places that they shouldn't have. Now, these are very light. They're like 165 grams. They don't feel super durable. Like when I do this, I get kind of nervous. Now, nobody's sitting there stretching them, but I mean, if you got a gargantuan giant watermelon for a head, you might have some issues. There's a very soft sports material around the headband, and the headband is a very thin plastic. Not the best plastic, but it is plastic. There's no cushion in the top. I don't know why, but the thing is it's not a big deal, but we'll get into that in comfort. They do have exposed coiled wires, and unlike some headphones, these don't feel like a fail point. They feel very thick, very sturdy. Because they're coiled, they have a lot of length to go with, so pulling them too tight is not an issue. And the ear cups themselves have this very thick plush cushion, and these cushions are super deep. And the sports material that they chose on this feels very nice on the skin. And those cushions can be removed. So if you don't like the cushions and you want to get some third-party aftermarket cushions, you can do that. And I also really appreciate that because, ear cups get dirty, so you can pull them off, wash them, clean them, put them back on, and you're good to go. There's no detachable or attached microphone on this headset. It's a slit in the ear cup. There's 2 slits. The microphone, and then I believe this other microphone is to take in sound and cancel it out, but we will do a mic test later. And there's 4 buttons on it: power, volume, and your mute switch. So how are they comfort wise? Comfort is super important. If they're not comfortable, you don't want to wear them. If you don't want to wear them, it doesn't matter how good they sound, because you don't want to wear them. And oh my good God, this is where that part of the performance comes in. They cut in all the right places. I do still think that not putting a cushion to the top was weird, and how easily breakable this headband feels, but because they're so light and these cushions are so thick and they're so deep, my ears don't touch the drivers inside. There's no pressure on the top of my head. The clamping force is like non-existent, but it's tight enough where it doesn't feel insecure. These are probably the most comfortable headphones I've yet tested. I know I just said that about the Beyerdynamics, but I'm sorry. These win, and I don't think anything is gonna beat them for a long time. Like I said earlier, these are an insanely light 165 grams. They have 40mm drivers inside. They didn't specify if they're like their G drivers, just that they're gaming grade drivers. Very boring frequency response of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. They support Dolby Atmos, 3D Tempest, and Windows Sonic Spatial Sound. So you got a lot of options here with these headphones for that 3D sound that a lot of headphones try to emulate. Now, like we were talking about earlier, there is no microphone extending off of this headphone. However, there is a slit, and they call it the dual embedded beamform mics, and they're rated at 100 hertz to 8 kilohertz. Not great, not terrible. They have a 10-meter distance range. We are going to talk about that in just a minute. There is some issues with that. They charge over USB-C with a playtime of 18 hours. I never got 18 hours out of this headphone. However, you cannot use these wired. That is ridiculous in my opinion. If the battery goes in this headphone, you are now out of a headphone. You should be able to go wired or wireless. Say you're playing your game and the battery dies, right? And this is the only pair of headphone you have, and you can't plug them in wired so you can avoid the battery that's dead. Now you just have no headphones until they're charged. I've had some minor issues that I would like to bring up real quick. Sometimes they wouldn't turn on. I'm not sure why. Or I would turn them on and they wouldn't connect. They would disconnect quite often. Like they would turn on, play for a while, then disconnect. Not sure why that would happen. Sometimes I would get this crackling distortion sound, like very artifacty. It happened more on PlayStation than it did on PC, but it happened in both places. The Bluetooth has a noticeable lag. A lot of Bluetooth devices do, like the Sony WH-1000XM4s, there's such a minor lag that you barely notice it. With the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro, the lag is so minor that you can't see it. But again, that goes back to these are $80. These are a budget pair of headphones, and a lot of budget headphones that I've used that were Bluetooth had a noticeable lag. So it's not a huge issue, but it is there. We're gonna get into the mic test in just a moment, but hey, if you are enjoying this video, definitely slap a like on it. It helps out a ton, it pushes out in the algorithm, and I greatly appreciate it. And I stream 3 times a week, so definitely subscribe for that and hit that bell to get notified for all of my videos. And if you are interested in what we're talking about today, I do have an affiliate link down below, but just so you know, I do get a kickback from that. Now let's roll that mic test now. So this is the audio quality from the Logitech G435 microphone. I had to drop the audio recording volume because this thing is super hot. It might even still be peaking a little bit. It looks like it's peaking in the audio here. But yeah, so these don't sound the greatest, but again, there is no microphone, you know, so for what it is, I think it's pretty impressive. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Do you think these sound good? Do you think these sound bad? Do you think that they should have just went with a normal microphone? Let me know. I'm curious. But yeah. So yeah, that's the mic. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's quite impressive considering that there is no detachable microphone on this. I think that's a pretty impressive sound. It doesn't sound amazing, is what it is for what it is, you know what I mean? But let's get into sound quality. For wireless headphones at $80, this is actually quite impressive. However, they don't sound like $80 wired headphones. They sound more like $50 wired headphones. But again, any wireless headphone you use for gaming, they have lower quality than their wireless counterparts. Usually. There is some exceptions to that rule, but a lot of times wireless have a lower quality. But remember, these are $80, and I want to go over a few things about the sound that I really like. The soundstage on these are super impressive. Like, these are closed back headphones and the soundstage is very wide, maybe a little bit synthetic, but I don't care because it just sounds so freaking good. The stereo separation is really well done. The directional audio is almost always on point, and that is a big thing to me because I play a lot of competitive shooters and I like to have good directional audio. They are a bit dark though. The low end, the bass is very prominent. They definitely boosted the bass a bit, and sometimes that bass does envelop other sounds. So if there's like other sounds happening with a rumble, sometimes that rumble will eat the higher end sounds. But when it's not boomy, they're super clear and crisp. However, I should have mentioned this earlier, the volume is a bit of a problem. I always wished I had more volume. They're loud, but they're not loud enough. I just wish I could go like 1 or 2 notches more, but they were good enough. Like I wasn't like upset. They were good enough. So yeah, soundstage, great. Clarity, good as long as it's not boomy. Bit bassy. Directional audio, amazing. But honestly, a question that I always ask when I have gaming headphones that I want to make a new segment of: can they pull double duty? Yes. I've tried these with metal, I've tried them with rap, I've tried them with pop, and they sound good with everything. So if this was your only pair of headphones in the sound department, you'd be just fine. These can pull double duty, so double duty certified. I think these are a great budget wireless option. Just keep in mind, these are wireless at $80, and wireless headphones normally have a drop in audio quality anyway. And I just want to make that very clear. I know I keep saying it, but just remember, these are $80 wireless. So think about it like they're $50 wired. And honestly, with that in mind, these are great. Yeah, a bit dark and bassy, but their soundstage and great directional audio along with amazing comfort and the most comfortable I've tested. I think Logitech did something really impressive here. And honestly, I highly recommend these. But if you want to see my comparison to Logitech G Pro original model versus the Black Shark V2s, you can click this video right here and it'll bring you right to it. Anyway, guys, have a good one.